The coronavirus pandemic has at times highlighted America's political divisions. But California Governor and liberal Democrat Gavin Newsom has moved from a, quote, resistance leader to an unwitting Trump surrogate, according to a new article in Politico, which calls Newsom a, quote, breakout star in the president's re-election campaign. Carla Marinucci wrote that piece. She's a senior writer for Politico's California Playbook, and she joins me now from San Francisco. Carla, for many Americans, the pandemic is not and should not be a partisan issue, especially when lives are at stake. Some might say the time is now for politicians to stand together. So why aren't some leaders getting along, and what's unique about Governor Newsom?
Yeah, Len, I think this one shows how the pandemic has really upended politics as we know it. Look, just a couple of months ago, Gavin Newsom was the warrior in the state of resistance, the lead state against Trump, one that has filed more than 7 dozen lawsuits against him. That has all changed with the pandemic. They are best of friends, it seems. There's almost a bromance going as every day President Trump lavishes praise on Gavin Newsom. And the feelings seem to be mutual, in part because Gavin Newsom runs the world's 5th largest economy, what he calls a nation state. He's needed those PPEs, those ventilators, and he's gotten what he's needed from President Trump. Just this week, 100,000 swabs, and he praised President Trump, even repeating his campaign slogan, promises made, promises kept. That's a shocking thing for a lot of Californians out here, a lot of Democrats, but that's the way it's going. It's cooperation and it's bipartisanship, something we haven't seen, as you mentioned, in the months preceding.
Well, and Carla, there's another part of your article in which you write that as governor of a state hit hard and early by the coronavirus, he, meaning Governor Newsom, wants to curry favor to get medical and other supplies for his state. Is praising President Trump seen as a requirement to get the people of California or any other state what they need in this pandemic?
You know, I think Gavin Newsom has realized that he's got to do what he's got to do to serve 40 million people here in California. He's been able to keep the numbers low in California, and that has been an important factor. Look, compared to New York, we've got 1/10 the number of infection cases, 1/10 the number of mortalities. And this is no small thing for California. So Newsom has done, I think, what a lot of people have cringed at on the Democratic side, watching him praise the president every day, but at the same time, getting what he's needed to handle, and that includes the Mercy ship, the hospital ship to Los Angeles. So for Newsom, this is all about delivering. He has said that. He just will not go there when you ask him a question that suggests criticism of President Trump. He basically says, I've got to take care of the people of California. That's the bottom line. And he's just stuck to that, and it's worked.
Now, the Trump campaign has actually been using Governor Newsom's words in an ad to re-elect the president. I'm wondering if there's been any reaction from Newsom to that.
You know, there hasn't been reaction from Newsom, but there has been reaction from Democrats here in California. Some of them say that he's going to help re-elect President Trump come November, that he is hurting Joe Biden. There are those on the progressive side who aren't really happy that Gavin Newsom is starred now in 3 ads for President Trump. And his campaign is repeating that promises made, promises kept quote that Newsom gave out this week. But the fact is, look at his poll numbers, Lana. That's the bottom line. Newsom is the number one. Yeah. Newsom is the number one.
I mean, those poll numbers, which you mentioned in your article, the approval ratings for California's governor are off the charts. Right now, 83%, according to I think it's 538, which ranks him as number 1 among the nation's governors, more than double his pre-pandemic numbers. I'm wondering, Carla, how much of this is strategic? We know that Newsom's a political animal. Is he looking forward maybe to some higher office beyond California sometime maybe after November, the next political round?
You know, a lot of people say that Gavin Newsom, he's a rising star in the Democratic Party. He is likely to be in a run for the White House sometime in the future. And some people are even suggesting this is sort of engineered to maybe help Donald Trump so that he can run again in the future. Look, the bottom line is Newsom is now a figure on the political stage, in part because of his relationship with Trump right now and his success in California, in part because his numbers are so high here. As you mentioned, a #1 governor in terms of job approval in the United States is no small deal. So I think his relationship with Trump has helped him in this way. It has catapulted him to the national stage. He was not known to many Americans outside of California before. He is now. He's a regular on the Ellen Show, The View, all the late night shows, and on cable. This has upped his name recognition, and it has certainly upped his prospects to be a future candidate for the White House. I think there's no doubt about that.
All right, well, one last question about this, Carla. Obviously, we're used to thinking about politics, but in a lot of ways, the playbook goes completely out the door. Right now, we're all living lives different from what we expected to live right now. We're not covering the campaign like we expected it to be. So how much is this perhaps not at all related to Newsom and Trump getting along? And how much is this just related to the fact that by most objective measures, the California governor is doing a really good job on the pandemic?
I think that's the bottom line here. Gavin Newsom was early. He's one of the first governors to shut down the state. For seniors. He did it before anybody else. And because of that, look, the proof is in the numbers here. California is still not out of the woods. He says that every day. And he's been very, very cautious about reopening the state, despite what President Trump pushing for more. The fact is, Californians support him in very big numbers. And they think that he's done a really good job in handling this tremendous situation here in what is a nation state in California, 40 million people. So, yeah, that is it. It's all about job performance. And on that front, Gavin Newsom has it covered right now, it seems. I don't think he takes it for granted, but I think what's clear is President Trump is not taking him for granted either.
Interesting times. Carla Marinucci, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.